Hello lovely people, I'm Rachel and I just want to say a big welcome to the first episode of the Adventures of Yarnia podcast. I'm coming to you from Lancashire in England and today it is Friday the 22nd of September. Had to think there for a minute. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. It's one of those classic autumn days where it's crisp and cold but sunny and I absolutely love it. And I'm just going to go and turn the bubbles off on the fish tank because it's probably making rather a lot of noise. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. This is a deviation from the normal kind of video that you're going to find here. Normally it's all about planning and journaling and stickers and stationery. With the odd bit of Bible journaling and creativity and all of that thrown in. But this is the start of my crochet podcast and I am proud to be a planner who hooks. Now, let's just get something clear now for those of you who don't get the reference. Crochet, crochet hook, planner who hooks. And that is a term which a few of us use in the EllieBeth community. For those of us who have come over to crochet and knitting from planning, because there is a person who sits in both of those sort of communities, and that is the lovely Lucy from Attic 24. She is a planner girl as well as a crochet girl. So I will talk more about that no doubt in later episodes, but for now what I want to do is just share with you a few things that I am working on, a few things I've completed, and there's also going to be a little section about what I'm planning as well, because at the end of the day I might love crochet and all of that, but I am still a planner girl. So let's make a start, shall we? If you haven't already realised, this is likely to be quite a long video, so make sure you go and grab a brew. Tea, Earl Grey tea today. Quite often I drink Lady Grey tea in the mornings because you can't get decaf Lady Grey, and I normally have decaf later on. But at the moment, because Tesco messed up the delivery the other week, I've got caffeinated Earl Grey, so I'm kind of using that up. It definitely tastes different to the decaf. Can't tell you how though, it's very odd. Right, let's pop that down, and the first thing that I want to show you is something that I'm wearing. So this is a recently finished project. It is the Namakaland shawl, which is a design by, there you go, can you hold that up, which is a design by Deirdre, I think that's how you say her name, from Look at What I Made. She's also the amazing designer behind Sophie's Universe, and I'll be showing you my Sophie later on. And this is it's meant to be a triangular shawl. Now I went a little bit wrong, but there's not much that doesn't block out, so I managed to correct it at least. So it's not a perfect triangle, but it is very, very lovely. So Shepshi's Whirl is kind of, I'm just showing you some of the colours in here, is kind of very, very popular at the moment on the Cal International group. It's pretty much all anyone can talk about, and this one has been made in the colour Blackcurrant Squeeze Me, and I have a second ball for which reason I shall explain soon. So if we can get that to just focus in, show you the ball band. It comes in this shape. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? And it's squishy and it's wonderful. It is a cotton acrylic blend, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and they have loads of colours. There's a list of some colours already on the ball band, but they also have some new colours that have come out recently as well, and they are just beautiful. It's great to work with, and it's so clever because it changes colour as you go. So it's a 4-ply yarn. See, I've been watching all my crochet podcasts, so I know the details that you're going to want. So it's a 4-ply yarn, and it is, what happens is it starts off just like one colour, and then one strand changes to the next colour, and then it goes to like 2 and 2, and then 3 and 1, and so it gradually blends through all the colours, and that's how it has worked up for me. Now, my ball that I bought had a little mistake in it, And what happened was that the speckly grey turquoisey bit came in very, very early where it shouldn't have done. So I got in touch with Wool Warehouse, which is where I purchased this, and said, look, I don't think this is right. I found a picture on Ravelry of somebody who had completed a shawl in this colourway, and I sent that to them and they went, yeah, that's not right, we'll send you a replacement. I'd already done, it's about there on this, so I'd already done like pretty much all the grey section. So I decided to just cut out the bit that was the wrong colour and see if it went to the right colour, and it did, thank goodness. But that then did mean that I didn't have enough to do the border at the end. And I also went wrong and added in some extra popcorn stitches, which I now hate popcorn stitches, even the really lazy ones. Yeah, so I kind of ran out of yarn. So thankfully they had sent me the replacement, so I used a little bit of this just to finish off the border. And I decided, rather than the pattern border, I've just done a row of back post trebles, or back post double crochet if you're in the US. And I think that just works really nicely, actually. I think it just looks quite pretty, and I'm quite pleased with that. So there you go. I've just told you lies because they're not doubles, they're singles. They're doubles in the UK, singles in the US. Seriously, as somebody who's only crocheted since November last year, what is with the different terminology? For once, I actually think that the United States terminology makes more sense. Very rare that I would say that. So there you go. Sorry, United States. But in all honesty, yeah, UK, what are we on about? We don't even have a single crochet. It's stupid. Anyway, so that is my first finished object, and I am really pleased with this. I've been wearing this a lot on school run. I kind of wear it around like I had before, just sort of wrapped around from the front. And then at home, when I'm working at home, because I work from home, I don't want to put the heating on just for me, especially it's only September, it's not really that cold yet. So I tend to just put it round the other way and put it over my shoulders whilst I'm sat at my desk working on computer or whatever I'm doing. So yes, and being a cotton acrylic blend, it's really comfortable to wear because I can't wear wool around here, I'm too sensitive. I can't wear like wool jumpers or anything, which is a real shame because there's some beautiful things out there. But yeah, so that is my first finished object. I'm super pleased with that. It is a free pattern, and I will leave links down below to anything that I mention. My second finished object, and the way, yes, this is my first podcast, so I can't go, since I last saw you, I have made. So what I thought I would do is just show you a few things that I've made in the last, or finished I should say, because I take forever. But things that I've finished kind of in the last 6 or 7 weeks, because that feels like a reasonable amount of time, I would say. So my other thing that I've finished recently, it is another shawl, it's another whirl, and this is the Lost in Time pattern. Again, it's a free one on Ravelry. I will leave links down below with designer details and everything. And it's another whirl, and this is the colourway Melting Macaron, and it is gorgeous. Now this one I didn't have enough left for the last, to finish off the repeat and the border, so I ended up kind of just inventing my own little sort of frilly bordery type thing. And this is very definitely much more of a summer colours shawl. Both of these obviously were blocked after I finished them. This one has also been washed since through the washing machine, as I watched with bated breath to make sure that it was going to be okay. And it's come out absolutely fine. Didn't have to pin it out, just spread it out afterwards. Yeah, it's great. So that is my other one. And I absolutely love the colours. So beautiful. So the next 2 objects that I have to show you, I don't think I like the word object, you know. Sorry, we're having a squirrel moment, which for anyone who's watched any of my videos, you'll know I do frequently, where I kind of go off on a bit of a tangent, sorry. But object, it just feels a bit, feels a bit objectified, objectionable. The next thing, item, it doesn't feel right to call these objects because look how cute, and we're not objects or things. Oh, sorry. The next project. I'm not a project. Okay. Wow, I really am losing it today. It's the whole having to talk down the lens of the camera, I think. So the next, sorry guys, objects that I have finished are these toys, and these have been made for my daughters. This is Chardonnay the pony, and these are from Edward's Menagerie, and look at the belly, so cute. And this is Emma the bunny, woo, which was made for Eleanor, my eldest. And these are from, as I say, the book Edward's Menagerie. I'm going to keep holding them up here. And they're really, really snuggly. And I got the book and I just thought, oh, I really want to make the girls something for my daughters. And so I asked them to choose their favourite animals in the book, and these are the ones that they picked. Now, in terms of what yarn I used Sirdar Snuggly Crofter in and it's a baby Fair Isle effect. So, and it is a chunky yarn. Now, this is super, super squishy. Once it has worked up, it is a bit stiffer because I used a 5mm hook, and because I wanted quite a dense fabric to keep the stuffing in. Sorry guys. I'm going to just sit these, shall I sit them here? Let's sit you there, Emma. Let's sit you there. You can lean against the granny stripe blanket. There we go. There we go, they should be happy now. So yeah, so although it is super squishy and soft and lovely, it has got a bit stiffer once it has been crocheted. The girls are happy with that, they're fine. It's still nice to cuddle, and actually they've had a lot of hugs of these too. And this is a 55% nylon, 45% acrylic yarn, 50g balls. I think I needed 2 balls for each of these toys. And this is the colourway, oh, imaginative, 0500. It had a much nicer name on the website. And this one is 0507, which is the one that I used for the pony. And then I just got some other chunky yarn in a colour that kind of went with it, and used that for the feet, hands. Do bunnies have hands? Horses certainly don't. And the hair and the tail of the bunny as well. It's got an enormous tail. I got a bit carried away stuffing it. But Eleanor likes it, and that's what matters. So yes, let me just grab the book to show you. It's over here on the side. Here we go. So this is the book, Edward's Menagerie. And it's not a new book, it's been around for ages. It's by Kerry Lord for Toft. And I mean, really, when you just look at all of the toys and things, let's get some up. Oh, they're just lovely, and they're all made in the book in like natural colours and natural fibres. Toft obviously are known for alpaca yarn, I believe, and so yeah, so they're all that. But every little animal in the book has got like a little biography, and they're really, really funny. So we have, let me find Emma the bunny. I'll just read a couple of sentences. So Emma is an extremely lovable bunny whose aura is kept in balance by regular dates with her yoga mat. How's your aura doing, Emma? Good. And a little bit further on, once there's a vase of fresh flowers and a pot of Earl Grey tea, I approve of that, brewing on the side, it's time for Emma to get out her needles and create. They're just hilarious. And you've got things like really nice styled photography, really, really lovely. And it's just a really lovely book actually to use. I mean, there's a squirrel and there's a cheetah. Look at the cheetah. I mean, how cute is that? So I'm planning on my next sort of make from this. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. I quite like the cheetah, but I also really like the terrier, and there's a sheep that's amazing. So it does go up in, it's like 3 levels of patterns in terms of complexity, but all of them really are made in a very similar way. They all use the amigurumi, if I said that right, I don't know. The one where you go round and round and round in a spiral method. And you make the heads and the bodies are kind of standard start. Some of them are a little bit altered, but they have exactly the same body, and the legs as well, they have standard legs, and then if there's any adjustments to that in the pattern it tells you, so it's dead easy. So yeah, so I really enjoyed making those, and it's so nice to make something for the girls as well, because up until now, up until these, everything that I've crocheted has kind of been either for like the blankets for the home, or it's been for me. Well, actually no, because those are the first things that I actually crocheted just for me. I got a bit of a blanket obsession going on. Yeah. The reason this is called the Adventures of Yarnia podcast, and I really hope that no one else has thought of that because I haven't actually checked, is because in my wardrobe I have boxes from IKEA. I like IKEA. IKEA's fun. But I've got storage boxes, and each one has got a different project in, or it's just got some yarn in that's spare. And my husband basically calls the wardrobe Yarnia, which I think is quite funny. So it was very disorganised before I got the boxes from IKEA, and we used to have a bit of a joke that he would be putting something away for me if he's putting clothes away, and everything would fall out and he'd go, "No, Yarnia has fallen!" And yeah, it was just funny. So there you go. So Adventures of Yarnia is what we're going to call this. So that's that. I think that's all the finished things that I have to show you. I mean, yes, obviously I have been crocheting other things, but not in the past 6 or 7 weeks have I finished any. So, oh no, I have one more thing that I can show you. It's sort of a half finished thing though. Where have I put it? Here we go. In my little Erin Condren bag. So this is where planning and crochet meet. For the planners who hook. This is an Erin Condren lunch bag, which you can get from the Erin Condren website. Links down below, including welcome codes if it's like your first order, you've never been to them. It is made of neoprene, and they have loads of different designs that you can choose, and you can personalise. So this one has RB on for my initials. I also have, she says leaning over the side of the sofa again, I have this one as well, which again, I didn't put initials on this, but I just got I chose the background colour for the butterflies. And I use these for my little on-the-go projects. So at the moment, I am working on a pair of socks. This is my second pair of socks that I will have knitted. And yes, I know, planners who hook, but planners who needle doesn't really work. Sounds like something very different. We don't want to go there. So this is my sock that I have finished. This is made with opal sock yarn, and it's a colourway called Thelma. I've already made Kate socks, which are lovely green and purples, and this is Thelma. So we have one sock that's finished, and my other sock is still on the needles. This circular needle, is it needle or needles? Because you've got 2 needle ends, but it's only one thing. I have so much to learn. So this is the second sock, and I actually picked these up only last week, or was it the week before? Last week, and I had started these back in March, believe it or not, when I had discovered sock knitting and thought it was marvellous and was going to knit a pair every single month, and I really meant to do that, but then life. Anyway, so I'd actually been very organised. I had split my sock yarn ball into 2. I wound it into 2 cakes. I like cake. Into 2 cakes, and I had done it so that I had matched it up as well. Check this out. Check it out. Matching at the top pretty much. Oh, okay, it doesn't look like it's matching, but I promise you it did match. Does that look better? You got like the blue together, you got the blue, yeah. So they did, it was done so that I would start in the same place. And I cast on both of them onto separate circular needles. And I did the ribbing on both, and then I did the leg on both, and then I did the heel flap, and then I just kept going. I did the heel flap gusset, and so I picked this one up and it was there last week, and this one I got down just to the leg. So since last week I've finished that one, yay, and I've done the heel on this one, gusset, and now I'm working my way along the foot. So really pleased with how they've come along, and it was really lovely because I've been a bit of a, I'm great at starting stuff, I'm not brilliant at finishing it, and so it was really lovely to pick something up and go, ha, I've done most of the hard work on this. You know, I basically had half a pair of socks done, and that means that there's no second sock syndrome, and I can just finish this one off, and I think I've got about another 20 rows to go before decreasing for the toe and finishing off with good old Kitchener stitch, which I don't think that was too bad a job on that. I was quite pleased with it. Yeah. So there you go. So those are my socks. So I have a decent stash of sock yarn, but there's always room for more. So there we go. So there's my socks, half finished object. Right, I'm gonna have a mouthful of tea. Suggest you do the same if you've got a brew. Lovely. We had a bit of discussion in my Facebook group this week, sparked off by Sophie, who's on my design team. For those of you who might have found this through crochet and things like that, my shop EllieBeth Designs UK, I basically design stickers for planners, and I also stock journaling supplies and crafty stuff. And my design team help me by sharing what I create. They also advise me on ideas. They're great. They're such a brilliant sounding board for me to bounce ideas around with. And they also help look after my Facebook group, which has got a fair few members in it, you know, but there's always room for more, so do come and join us. Anyway, the point was, Sophie was talking about salted caramel, and she was saying, what is the difference between caramel and salted caramel, apart from the obvious? In other words, the taste. Anyway, Luke last night went out to Tesco because I wanted some chocolate, like you do. And they were supposed to have chocolate oranges on buy one get two free. What is that about? Talk about a lost leader. And he went and they sold out, but he brought me this back. So I intend to do a comprehensive taste test later today and offer my opinion on the exact difference between caramel and salted caramel. Anyway, that was just a little by the by because that was just at the side of me. Oh dear, this is brilliant. These crochet podcasts are just going to be one long squirrel moment. By which I mean, you know, when you get distracted and you just go, oh, and off on a tangent, and it's, you know what I mean. Sure you do. Okay, so let's have a little look at what I'm working on at the moment. Now, given my earlier comments about Yarnia, you will probably have already inferred that there are a lot of works in progress at the moment in Yarnia, and that's where they're staying. The ones that I'm going to show you are just the ones that I'm actually actively working on, by which I mean I've picked them up in the last week and I'm trying to make progress on them. So where should we start? Let's start with Sophie. So this is my Sophie's Universe blanket, and I'm just going to kind of go out of shot for a minute because it's huge. Here we go. I'm going to peek through it so I can see if you can see. So this is the Sophie's Universe in the Colour Crafter Rainbow Pack. Isn't it amazing? Look at all these colours. And I really, really love it. This is another one that I started and put down for quite a long time and have picked up again now. So Sophie's Universe was a crochet along, or CAL, from 2015 I believe, hosted by Deirdre. I'm really sorry Can somebody help me with pronunciations? From Look What I Made, which is the same person who I got my Namaqualand shawl pattern from. And this year, Sophie's Universe came out in book form. And I had been on Pinterest like you do. Because when I get into something, I get into it deep. Okay. So crochet happened. And within a month, Yarnia was in existence. Anyway, I saw on Pinterest these amazing, amazing blankets, and the colours and the patterns and the texture and just everything just screamed out to me, because I adore colour. I love colour. I love, oh, it just makes me happy. Colour just makes me feel better. And so, you know, that's partly why I make stickers and do all my pretty planning and things. But it is functional. And I saw all this and I just thought, right, I'm going to have a go. The other thing about me, and it's something that I've only really come to realise in the last few months really, is that I'm not one of those people who tends to look at something and go, I can't do that if there's a set of instructions to follow. I tend to go, well, of course I can read. I'm relatively intelligent, I hope. People may differ, beg to differ. And I kind of go, let's have a go. The amount of detail in this book, I'm just going to show you a little bit, is amazing. This is all the original pattern, which is free on her blog, so you can just go and print it, but it's so much nicer and easier in book form. Plus you get all the pretty pictures, the extra ones as well, and space for notes. And I just thought, if I've got really good instructions, then I'll be able to do this. So I had to go with some other yarn that I had initially, and just from a printing the first bit off her blog, whilst I was waiting for this, and then I went, yeah, actually I'll give it a go. So I ordered the pack. This is Shepshes, I think that's how you say it. Shepshes, colour crafter. It's an acrylic. It's a bit fluffier, I find, than the Stylecraft Special DK, which is what this is made out of. This is an Attic 24 pattern. But it's nice to work with. And yeah, that's where I am. So I am on round, let's have a look. I'm about to start round 91. And there are 113 rounds, and then there are options to make it into a rectangular blanket rather than square, which is what it's going to end up as, by adding separate squares around it or working more border. We'll see. I do have enough yarn to do that as well if I wanted to. But I am about to reach what's known as the butterfly band, and it is this gorgeous section. Let's see if I can find a picture to show you. There we go. Show you this picture. Gorgeous section in the pale blue around the outside, and it's got like a butterfly stitch detail. Brilliant, thought I. I love butterflies, thought I. That's great. Except that half the reason I've loved doing this is all the colours. And what I'm about to do, I think, is 8 rows, 7 or 8 rows in the same colour. 91 to 97, 6 rows. Okay, it's not that bad. And yes, it's a pretty colour. I think I counted up last night. It's just over 3,000 stitches in the same colour. This is going to test my patience because I get bored very easily, and even the rounds that you can see here of the single crochets, just going back into US terms because that's what it's written in, I was starting to lose the will to live a little bit. So we shall see how it goes. Now I'm off to Yarndale this weekend. So excited. First time. Very, very excited. Very, very, very excited actually. And I'm going with a friend, and I think that I will take this to work on. And if I can get 2 or 3 rounds done whilst we're sat in the hotel nattering tomorrow night, then I'll be quite pleased with that, because it'll be a good dent into it. Because yeah, I just get bored with the same things. And I've looked ahead and it's like loads and loads of single crochet. But then I get to do some interesting bits, because as you can see on there, there's like the border and stuff. So we'll get some interesting stuff then. See how it goes. So that is my Sophie. So very, very pleased with Sophie. Really snuggly. Had a bit of an issue where I used the wrong hook size for a few rows, so I had to do some really major aggressive blocking the other night to get it back square. But it's coming. And yeah, I started her in January, and I've not worked on her all summer because it's too hot. Too hot to sit under a pile of blanket crochet. So that's Sophie. So I'm hoping that by the next time that I speak to you, which I'm thinking will be maybe a couple of weeks, because I am quite a slow crocheter. So 2 or 3 weeks, probably about right. I'm sorry if my bracelet keeps jangling, by the way, but it is really pretty. It's super, super pretty. Sorry. Squirrel! That I will have finished the butterfly band. That is my aim. So I've got that. My other work in progress, which I actually only cast on, hooked on, chained on. What's the right phrase? Started this morning is in a absolutely gorgeous yarn. Which way up is this? Oh, it's that way up. Okay. This is from somebody who I've discovered through YouTube and through Instagram and the crochet community. And this is yarn from the very lovely Catherine at Crafternoon Treats. So here we go. Here is the yarn. And this is her... Right, so Catherine has a blog. She's also a Stylecraft blog star, I think they call it. She does a crochet podcast, which is really lovely, and she is so calming to listen to and so funny in places. And she also has learned to dye yarn, and she's got a local mill near her, and so she works with British breeds a lot of the time, and she also then sells that on her Etsy shop. She makes stitch markers. She's got a stall at Yarndale tomorrow, so I'm probably going to go and freak her out by being like this crazy person who's a little bit hyper and excited to meet her. Hope I don't scare her too much. But hey, it will be what it will be. And so I bought this from her a while ago. This is a South Atlantic fingering base. It is 100 grams and it is 100% British Falkland merino, and isn't it beautiful? Look at the colours. It's yes, it's a fingering weight, 2-ply, and yeah, it's not superwash, and it's in her colourway Hippie Chick. I liked it so much, and I wasn't sure at that point exactly what I was going to make with it, and 100 grams, how far would that go? Didn't quite have the experience to know. Just look at the squish though. It squishes so well. So I bought two of these, and then I had to get a Swift to actually cake it up myself, and so I caked one of them the other night. This is the cake. Look how squishy that is, and it smells so good. Sorry, just have a moment. And I decided I would make myself a pair of fingerless gloves. So the pattern that I have chosen, I literally just started this morning, so that is probably about 10 minutes worth of crochet, which I think is quite good. I've just put it there so you can kind of see the colours and the pattern. So I found a pattern on Ravelry, and it's called the Hermione's Shell Stitch Mitts or something or other. I'll link it down below. It's a free pattern, so thank you very much to the lovely designer who's made that free. And it uses V-stitch and shells, sort of worked in amongst each other. And so yeah, so I've started it, and I can get it on because it's a really, really stretchy, kind of quite forgiving stitch pattern. I'll do that so I don't lose my stitch because I've not put stitch marker in because they're all stuck in Sophie at the moment. But you can kind of see the pattern there as well and how the colour is starting to work up. So I'm working on those because I just want something for school run, just to keep my hands warm. But I don't like driving with gloves on, I like to have my fingers free. So I thought I'll make myself a pair of these. Plus, if they go really, really well, obviously I've got absolutely loads of this. So I may make some for the girls or make some for presents as well, which would be lovely. So that's what I'm working on there. And because it's merino, I found the wool that I can wear. I could wear that on my neck. It's so soft. Oh, it's gorgeous. So there we go. So that is my other work in progress. My last one, work in progress number 4, is another whirl project. Let me grab it. It's residing in an IKEA tub. And it is a knitted shawl. Now, bear in mind, I've made 2 shawls in my life, both crocheted, both with whirls, so I kind of know how the yarn works, as it were. But I did make mistakes on both of them. And I've knitted 1.5 pairs of socks in my life. I mean, I knitted as a kid, but never very well. But for some reason, when this came with my replacement whirl from Wool Warehouse, the whirl from Wool Warehouse, the wool from Whirl Warehouse. Might as well be for all the whirls that keep being sold, I imagine. They sent some free patterns, and included was this, which was published in the Knitter magazine, which obviously I don't get because I don't knit apart from socks. I should have said before, the pattern I'm using for my socks is from Christine Perry. It's the Winnick Mum just basic sock pattern. I'll leave it linked. She has a book as well. I did get the book because it was easy to follow and I could scribble on it than reading on a screen. So I don't really knit, but I looked at that and I just thought, oh, I want to try. And again, on the Facebook group, the Shepshes Cal International group, there were loads of people starting them. And I may or may not have already had a couple of whirls in my stash. There may or may not still be a few whirls in my stash. And I thought I'd have a go. So I am knitting on a circular needle that's this long, because apparently that's how long we need it. It is 3mm. And I got bamboo because when I knit socks, when I discovered bamboo knitting needles, it was like, now I can knit. Because I found the metal ones were just so sharp and pointy and hurt my fingers. My DPNs are metal because I find that that's useful for picking up the stitches. But yeah, I kind of went for these, although I need to sort the end out on this because it snaps slightly and it's a bit snaggy. So this is as far as I have got, which is perhaps a little bit pathetic. But you can see, or you can start to see, especially if I tip it like that, how the pattern's going to work, that you get these gorgeous stripes, and as you move, if you look from different angles, different colours stand out more. And you eventually get this effect. I think it's called illusion knitting, I believe. So it's very, very time consuming, is what I will say. I am on row something. Thought I was further than that. Yeah, I am. I've done my 56 rows and I'm part way through a 40 row repeat, and I think I'm about 15 rows into that. So that's like 60 odd rows of knitting. Sophie was 90 rounds of crochet. That's why I like crochet, because it just goes so fast and you get instant results, it feels. But look at the colours I'm using. Let me tip this carefully. I've got another melting macaron, and here this is blackberry mint chip, and I'm going from the middle of the macaron and the outside of the mint chip. I got Eleanor, my eldest, to help me decide on the colourways because I did have a couple of choices because, you know, stash, it happens. And she said she thought these would work really well because what we're going to get is, when we get to the outside of the macaron, it's going to have this like turquoisey colour against the purple from the blackberry mint chip. And I think it's going to look really fab. It's going to take me years. Talk about biting off a little bit more than you can chew. Made 3 socks and a bit of another one. Think she can make that. I'm getting there though. I've got the hang of it. I now understand how to do a slip one purlwise, knit yarn back, switch colours, knit yarn over, through back loop. That took a bit of doing. There is a really helpful video on YouTube showing how to do the colour changes, and basically the idea is that you choose 2 colours of whirl or gradient yarn of any kind and you just go for it. And there are some absolutely amazing ones that people are working on and they just look fabulous. And the brilliant thing about it as well is that there's 4 different options with 2 whirls, because you could work them both from the middle out, both from the outside out, one inside out with the other outside in. Outside in, you know what I mean, or the other way around. So it can be quite, I think there's so many different possibilities as to what you could do. So there you go. So that is my final work in progress. So, mouthful of tea time. And then I want to talk to you about how I am planning and organising my crochet and knitting. Tea's gone cold. I've been sat here that long nattering to you. So for those of you who have any idea about what I've previously filmed, you'll know that I have a healthy number of planners and stationery items. So I thought I would show you 2 things that I use when I'm crocheting or knitting to help organise my supplies. And this really is the Planners Who Hook segment. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is this little pouch, which is from Lyra and Co. Those of you, she's on Etsy, so that's Jane Williams. Those of you who know Lyra and Co already from planning will know of her Lyra Dories. She makes traveller's notebooks from beautiful fabrics. One of the other things that she makes are these little planner pouches, or they're designed to be planner pouches, and they've got like a section at the front you can stick some pens in, a zipped pocket, so you could put, again, pens, washi, anything like that in, and a nice thick elastic on the back so they can sit over your planner and slide on. When I saw this one, because it's got the yarn on it and the cat's playing with the yarn, I was just like, I have to have that. Don't quite know what I use it for. I initially did think I was going to use it as a pencil case, but then I thought it actually makes a really good, what we call in the trade, notions pouch. Tell you what, when I was seeing notions all over, I was like, notion? That like ideas? No, a notion is a little something or other that you use whilst crocheting or knitting. So in here I have my hooks, I have a pen, I have a plaster, because quite often I get sore cuticles and then the yarn going over it hurts, so I put a plaster on to stop that. I have my little measuring tape, and I have my scissors, and here's another little Planners Who Hook hack. I can't take credit for it though, because it was the lovely Katie from Katie Teach Plans who put me onto this. I have an Ollie clip magnetic paper clip with my darning needles on, stuck to my scissors, and then whenever I finish something and need to sew the end in, they're there ready, and they just keep things really safely together in the pouch. And I also have a little stitch marker tin which was rattling before. This is from Beth at the recently renamed Koru Clay Studios. She was Korachumi Clay before, and she is where I got my unicorn coloured pen from, if you've ever seen that on my Instagram. I'll try and pop a picture in somewhere if I can, or link you to it or whatever. And I have a few of her crochet hooks and stitch markers as well, and they're just gorgeous. So that's what I have in there. Excuse me. Oh, put a dent in that, never mind. The other thing that I am using to keep track of my projects is a #1 Foxy Fix. So, Foxy Fix Travels Notebooks, smells so good, proper leather, handmade, although I think they do machine sew. From America, very, very popular in the planner land. And in here I have got I've got a little notebook on the front, and then I've got 4 inserts, all from Cocoa Daisy. And I really do apologise because I'm just conscious I've been talking to the screen and not to the lens. It's very hard when I'm used to just having my hands on show to then go face first. Face first? You know what I mean. So I've got mini Daisy Dories, which I have put in and covered and done different things with. And so I've got, my first one is just for general notes and ideas. Then I have one which was the first one that I did, which is for blankets and home things. And in here I've got things like details of Sophie's universe, where I'm up to. I've got a colour chart for something that I'm working on, another blanket. I ended up doing Sophie by row to keep myself motivated. And then just some general notes. I have another one which is for socks. And this has got in it my, I'm going to make a list of my stash. So I'm going to write out the colourways that I already have. And I have the basic sock pattern written out from Win It Mum. I then have, and I put a little tab on it so I can flip to it easily. And I then have in the back of that, I've written down details of the finished socks that I've been working on, in terms of things like how many stitches I've cast on, how many rows I've done for different sections, so that when I come to do the second sock, I've already got the information. I don't have to go, how many did I do? Because knitting I find really difficult actually to count rows, and I have no hope of pulling knitting back and frogging it and picking up stitches. It's very difficult. And then my last insert in there is going to be for things to wear. So that is where I'm going to put details of my shawl pattern that I use, or anything that I want to make in future, anything like that. And it's just really nice. So I'm really pleased with that. I spent last Sunday afternoon working on this. I pulled out, because I'd had some mini Daisy Dories for a while, and I basically got all my scraps from my my kits from the past few months that I've been using for my planner, and just went to town and had a great time. It was fun. So that is the other little planner thing that I'm using in my crochet, as well as my pouch from Jane. So there you go. I'll leave links to all these down below, and if there's anything that you've seen that you're thinking, oh, where's that from, just feel free to ask. And if you're sat there thinking, what on earth is a Daisy Dory? You'll know exactly how I felt when I began crocheting and was like, what is that meaning? So Cocoa Daisy are the company that make the inserts, and they make beautiful kits every month, which you can subscribe to. And they also do scrapbooking and memory keeping things as well. I'll leave a link to the website down below, and also have a look at some of my other videos, because I've got lots of unboxings and details of them. So I think that's about it for today. If you've watched till the end, thank you very much, because I mean, I know that I'm fairly notorious for doing long videos and long plan with me videos and things anyway, but this has well and truly broken the record of that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that if you've been sat crocheting, well, or knitting or crafting or doing whatever, that, you know, you've enjoyed having some company. I would say I've enjoyed your company, except that actually I've just got the lens of a camera staring at me. But so that I can enjoy your company, and if you have enjoyed this, give the video a thumbs up, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me some comments down below. If you're a planner girl, if you're in the planner community, have you ever done crochet, or have you ever thought about doing anything? Do you do any other crafts? I would love to know. And if you are a crocheter who has sort of stumbled over into EllieBeth land, what do you think about planning? Do you ever do it? Perhaps it could be another outlet for creativity and things as well. So until next time, lovely people, I will say goodbye, and for now I really wanted to say happy hooking, but that feels very, very wrong. I think I will say happy adventuring in Yarnia. Bye for now.